Picture this. You make one decision, a single vote, and boom, your entire family cuts you off. That's right. I'm talking disowned, gone, vanished. And the craziest part? All because I voted for Trump. Yeah, you heard me. But before you judge or jump to conclusions, stick with me, because this story has everything. Family drama, emotional roller coasters, and lessons you didn't know you needed. Trust me, it's about to get real. Ready? Let's go. All right, so here's the deal. I never thought politics would tear my family apart, but here we are. I grew up in a household where family was everything. We laughed together, celebrated together, and stuck by each other no matter what. Politics? It was barely a thing, just background noise during dinner conversations. But the world changed. The debates got louder, and before I knew it, my vote became a giant dividing line. One decision, one choice, and it felt like the people who were supposed to love me unconditionally didn't even know who I was anymore. So why am I sharing this? Because this isn't just about me. It's about what happens when family, identity, and politics collide. Let's dive into the story. Let's rewind a bit. My family was tight. We had Sunday dinners, family vacations, you name it. Sure, we had our share of disagreements, but nothing ever shook the foundation of who we were. Politics? Man, it was usually a side topic, kind of like discussing the weather, something you could mention but not really dig into. My parents? They were set in their ways, but they always encouraged me to think for myself. It was like this unspoken rule: you can believe whatever you want as long as you stay respectful. And I did. I thought, I learned, and I formed my own views. But as election season rolled around and tensions got higher, those casual debates turned into full-on arguments. It was like a storm brewing, and I didn't even realize it until it hit. I never thought one vote could change everything, but trust me, it did. All right, let's dig deeper into what led me to make this choice. Voting for Trump wasn't something I did on a whim. It was a decision shaped by my values, my experiences, and my hopes for the future. For me, it started with his focus on economic growth. I saw a candidate who was promising to revitalize industries, create jobs, and prioritize the working class. As someone who values hard work and opportunity, this message resonated with me. I wanted to support policies that would empower individuals and communities to thrive, especially in areas that had been overlooked for years. Another key factor was his stance on national security. I appreciated his emphasis on protecting the country and ensuring safety for all citizens. It wasn't about fear. It was about feeling secure and knowing that leadership was focused on safeguarding the nation's interests. And then there was his approach to shaking up the status quo. Trump's outsider perspective and willingness to challenge traditional political norms intrigued me. I saw it as a chance to bring fresh ideas to the table and disrupt systems that weren't working for everyone. But it wasn't just about policies, it was about the bigger picture. I wanted to vote for someone who I believed could bring change, even if that change came with controversy. I didn't agree with everything he said or did, but I felt that his vision aligned with the direction I wanted to see the country move in. It was a choice rooted in hope for progress, a belief in the power of bold leadership, and a desire to see real action on issues that mattered to me. I knew my decision would spark conversations, maybe even debates, but I never imagined it would lead to the fallout I experienced. Still, I stand by my choice because it was true to who I am and what I believe in. Voting is one of the most personal and impactful ways to express your values. And for me, this vote was about standing up for what I thought was right, even when it wasn't the easy choice. Boom! The moment my family found out, it was like a grenade went off. The reactions were instant and intense. Shock, anger, disappointment. I'll never forget the look on my mom's face when she said, "How could you?" It wasn't just a question, it was a gut punch. My siblings? They didn't hold back either. One of them straight up called me a traitor, and another said, "You've turned your back on everything we stand for." Ouch! The tension was unbearable, and every conversation felt like walking into a battlefield. One dinner turned into a full-blown shouting match, with accusations flying and tears streaming. By the end of the night, it was clear. This wasn't just a disagreement. It was a fracture, a divide that felt impossible to bridge. And let me tell you, it hurt. It hurt to feel like my family couldn't see past my vote to the person I've always been. It hurt to feel like I'd lost the people who were supposed to love me unconditionally. But most of all, it hurt to realize that sometimes standing by your beliefs comes with a cost you never saw coming. All right, so here's the part where I had to figure out how to pick up the pieces. Losing my family's support felt like losing a part of myself, but I knew I couldn't let it define me. Emotionally, it was a roller coaster. One day I'd feel angry and defiant, the next I'd feel crushed and alone. But I realized that I had to focus on what I could control, my own growth and my own happiness. I leaned on friends who had my back, people who reminded me that I wasn't alone in this. I also turned to journaling. It became my outlet for all the emotions I couldn't say out loud. And therapy? Game changer. It helped me process the pain and gave me tools to move forward without carrying the weight of guilt or resentment. Practically, I had to rebuild my sense of community. I started connecting with people who shared my values but also respected my individuality. It wasn't about creating an echo chamber, it was about finding a space where I could be myself without fear of judgment. I also learned to set boundaries. Family is important, but so is protecting your mental health. If a conversation was going to turn toxic, I learned to walk away. The biggest lesson? Family isn't just about blood. It's about connection, respect, and understanding. And sometimes, standing by your beliefs means standing alone, at least for a while. But that's okay, because it's in those moments that you discover your own strength. To anyone out there going through something similar, here's my advice. Don't let anyone make you feel small for standing by your convictions. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, and remember that it's okay to grieve what you've lost while still looking forward to what's ahead. You've got this.